Letty Seco. What's up? I'm Letty Martinez, reside in Los Angeles. I am in the hip-hop media world, on-air personality for Real 92.3. I felt like I needed to do the introduction since I haven't talked to you in so long. I missed you. But then I was thinking about this. God has a plan for everything. There's a reason why everything happens. And the last episode that I did that I left you with is a year, what a difference a year makes. I think I may have needed to just sit on that one so that it can sit with people. A lot of the times when there's so much, you tend to kind of just go to the next, listen to the newest. Some of the stuff gets lost in it. Thank you for everyone that listens to throughout all of them. But these past couple days, more than most other days, I've got a lot of people that have hit me and said that they really felt touched by that last podcast. If you haven't heard it, it should be on this timeline of podcasts that you're listening to. So I have a lot of stuff to tell you about. A lot of stuff has happened since I spoke to you with that podcast. Let's see what's going on this week. So this past week and the next week, of course, we're getting into the holiday season. We are in the thick of it. Christmas is coming up out here in LA, current events, that whole terrorist attack thing. Oh, that's what I want to talk to you about. So LAUSD, I think it's the second largest school district in the nation, over 900 schools shut down for a day because there was a terrorist threat that turned out to be a hoax, reportedly, but it was serious enough at the time that officials shut down all of the schools in LAUSD, and the police went into each of these schools to make sure they were safe of bombs, of any explosive-looking thingamabobs, and they were. Now, it affected me personally because I have a son that's 10 years old, and he didn't have to go to school. Now, day of, like they call you or email you or however they reach you and they tell you don't bring your kids to school, I got the phone call. And I just let him sleep. So he wakes up like at 9 and was like, "Oh my God, I'm late for school." I'm like, "No, it's okay. You're not gonna go to school today." To him, he saw it as a win. Like, shoot, any day I don't have to go to school is a great day. He just thought he overslept. So then I had the choice as a parent, and this is funny because no one ever preps you for this stuff. These hard talks. I had a choice to tell him what went on or why he wasn't going to school, or just to keep him in the unknown. I don't know if it's because I admire the way Tupac was raised so much and how aware of Feeney made him. I was like, no, I need to let this boy know what is going on. I like him to be very aware. He's very smart and he can digest information and understand it. It's kind of like, though, you pick and you choose when you tell your kids certain things, when you think they're able enough to handle it, because with telling them comes some truths about life that could affect them greatly. So I had the talk, and it's the terrorist talk, and it's not like I never thought I was gonna have to talk to him about terrorism, but I never thought I was gonna have to talk to him like, we are faced with this personally right now. It's happening to us at school. It's very, 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 very close to home. So in that sense, I never thought I would need to have this conversation with him. And this is basically how the conversation went, because I just know it was really tough for me. No one, like I said, no one preps you for it. You really don't have a guideline on how to speak to kids about it. And it's more so you have to feel it out. And what you have to know that these moments, they're very vital for your child. What you say is going to resonate with them when they think of this subject. So later on, I know when he thinks of terrorism or when he thinks of these situations, he's going to go back to that. Okay, so the first thing I asked him is if he knew what a terrorist was. This question was very important to me. More so than anything, it let me know where his head was at. I was a little afraid because one common misconception that we can have as parents, for those of you that aren't parents, my bad, bear with me. But for those of you that are, you'll find this to be true, whether you like it or not. And again, if you don't have children, I would really like you to know, because I wish I would knew before I had my son, stuff like this. Common misconception is that your children don't know anything, that they're not aware. They're a lot of times more aware. And you got to think of like when you were a kid, like how much you knew that your mom didn't know you knew, or your parent or your dad didn't know you knew. So I wanted to just see where his head was at. And I asked him if he knew what a terrorist was. And his answer in a nutshell was, a terrorist is somebody that may have never met you, but wishes bad on you and does evil things to groups of people that they don't know, like attack them with bombs. That was very important to me. One, in the fact that he didn't tie terrorist to a group of people or an ethnicity or religion. He just saw it as a terrorist, as a person with motive, with this as their motive, rather than, oh, a terrorist is da-da-da. A terrorist is like someone from this part of the world. Like, no, a terrorist is and for that, I'm very thankful. And I encourage, if you are a parent, not to let them think that a terrorist equals a certain type of race, ethnicity, religion, because it doesn't. So I told him then that there was somebody that threatened schools in the LAUSD being the system and the network of schools that his school is a part of. And he didn't go to school because of that. I could feel his kind of fear start to grow a little bit, and like trying to understand, like, whoa, my school or schools like mine with kids like me in it. And I let him know the reason why you didn't go to school is so that the police and the authorities can make sure that your school is safe. So when you go to school tomorrow, you'll know that they have checked. It's kind of like when you're afraid of the dark, or you're afraid of to go into a room because you might think something scary is in there. And mommy goes in there before you to make sure everything is fine, and then says, hey, it's clear, you can come in now. It's along those lines. And he understood it. And I just let him know what awareness means, why I'm telling him this. Because I could have not said anything and just him go back to school the next day. But then this is the real freaking world that we're living in. It's a gift and a curse to keep a child unknowing. Because I don't want to say ignorant, but ignorant probably is the right term. Because I know it's like ignorance is bliss. So they don't know the harsh realities of life. So it's cool. But also, they don't know the truths of life via you, which would look out for them in their best interest. So they're going to find it, when they find it, in another way. Like however TV tells them that this is going on, or however his classmate will tell him like it's going on. Wouldn't you rather be the person that instills these thoughts and these facts and knowledge about what's going on around him to your own child? So I took it as that, because I know there could be a discussion there. Like, should we tell our children about this? How early or whatever? And then, okay, like I said, I told him about awareness, because being aware is so important. Being aware is like knowing, although being aware is more of a protection tool. Being aware is more of a preparedness, in the fact that now that you know this information, when you go back to school, or if you send something a little off, you can pinpoint it rather than be like, what's going on? And that fear and that power of the what's going on against you is very strong when you're not equipped with knowledge and you're not aware. Granted, you'll still be afraid if something goes on in your school or whatever situation it can be, but knowing, at least being able to give it some sort of diagnosis of what it is, it lets you at least have the security of, okay, I know what it is now. I know what the problem is. I know what's going on. That's very important for our children to have. I noticed this and just these weird talks, because no one ever told me one day you're going to have to talk to your kid about fucking terrorist attacks, to him personally, and threats. But earlier this year, I worked with MTV in February, and it was Black History Month. And what we did was we interviewed a bunch of Black actors, musicians, figures in media, and we asked them when they had the talk about being Black in America. And more specifically, to the Black actors, artists, figures that are men, asked them when their parents sat them down and talked to them about how cops were going to treat them. And it's crazy, because we're asking them this question and they're answering like, yeah, I had the talk here, and this is what my dad told me here, and this is how my mom said it was going to be here. And in my head, I'm like, I would never think that that is a conversation to have. It's a very sad conversation to have, and not like, just in the fact that like, it sucks to know that you have to have these conversations, but then you can also see the strength and, like I'm saying, like the protection and preparedness that being aware of what's going on can help you. Whereas like someone, who was it? I forgot which actor I was talking to, and he was like, they told me, you're going to walk out this door one day once you stop being the cute little boy, because like we all grow up, we're all just cute little kids. Then we go up to this stage where you become Like you're not cute anymore. You're not a cute little kid anymore. You're like, all right, who is this? And they're going to profile you and they're going to think things about you just off of how you look. And when you get stopped, and it's going to happen more and more just because of how you look, this is also how they're going to treat you based on what they think of you. And you have to arm yourself knowing, because had you not had this talk, it would have happened to you. You'd be like, what the hell? What's going on? Why? Like, and it would automatically give you a defensive position in whatever happens to you. But having this talk, at least now you are aware that it's something that's going to happen to you, unfortunately. And if it doesn't, that's beautiful. But should it, at least you know that it's a possibility. And now you can operate, and you can, like, once faced with it, you can be like, okay, I know what this is. And like I'm saying, like, it's going to be scary regardless, but at least when you know what this is, you can better maneuver. And so that's why I think awareness is so important. And that's what I taught my son. You really need to know the word aware. Like, it's more than knowing stuff. Being aware is protection. Being aware is preparedness via knowledge, via information. So that was like my week, and it was super parental. A lot of the times it's just fun. And no, that's not to say that my week wasn't fun with my son, because it was. But a lot of the time it's like we're buddies. And then this is one of the times where I really had to be a parent and make that decision whether I was going to say something or not. And it brought me around to Afeni Shakur and what I see in the example of Tupac, where she made sure he was armed with knowledge. She made sure that he was prepared and knew what was going on. Even if he wasn't directly involved, he was going to face a time when he was going to be involved with these things, or when he was going to face these things. And when he did, oh boy, was he aware. And did he know how to maneuver, or even just that it was going to happen? What does J. Cole say? On 2014 Forest Hills Drive, Cole says, fear lies in my lack of awareness of the other side. And I think I've mentioned that before. But it is very true. Try to understand whatever is the opposition. Trying to understand helps you. Like, you always think, like, when whatever situation it is, you got somebody you ain't fucking with. You got someone that you feel is always out to get you. Or it could be the system itself. But when you understand their point of view, and not even to say they are right, but to understand why they think the way they think, you're able to then tackle it better. The last argument I had with my ex-boyfriend. He was leaving my house. He left my, like, it was the morning time, and I was getting in the shower, and he's like, should I leave or should I wait? And I was like, you could go or you could stay, whichever one you want. I'm going to take a shower. I come out the shower, he did. So I text him because he was supposed to take some hats, and I'm like, you forgot the hats. That's what you get for leaving before I got out. And he was like, well, I got stopped by the police. He's like, that's what I get. And I was like, uh-oh. He proceeded to tell, he's like, yeah, I'm on the side of the road. Like, I could be going away or whatever. And I'm like, what'd they stop you for? And he didn't stop for the 3 seconds at the stop sign. And like, it's like, okay, take your ticket, right? Well, they then profiled him and were like, okay, we're going to search your car. And they searched his car, and he's on the side of the road, and they found weed in his car. And he is texting me like, they fucking profiled me, fucking cops, like, they fucking put me on the side of the road, and they're searching my fucking car, and I could be going to jail, and what the fuck, and like, I fucking hate police, or whatever the fuck. And then I was like, look, you gotta understand where they come from. Like, they stopped you because you gave them valid reason to stop you. It was bullshit, like the 3 second, whatever you may call it, but you did fuck up, so they have the right to stop you. And you do look suspicious. You have tattoos all over you. And so I really don't know, like, the mechanics of protocol with cops, but I can tell, like, if they think you're suspicious, they can continue to search you. And he's like, this fucking happens to me all the time. I always get profiled. I'm fucking sick of it. That's why I fuck the police and da-da-da-da. And I was like, look, bro, saying fuck them, complaining about what they fucking doing is not going to help you ever. And the fact that you proved them right, you proved their protocol right, because they searched your car and they found weed. Like, because he was just kind of going off on a tangent, like, why did they search me? That's not right. And I was like, well, actually, you proved that it is right because they found some shit on you. Don't do dumb shit and then complain about getting caught about doing dumb shit and then saying, like, they're fucked up. Like, clearly their fucking methods work. So I'm here and I'm talking to him and he's like, no, they're treating me like shit. Like, why they have to stop me just because of how I look? And it's like, yeah, it is how you look. We all profile people. You judge someone by how they look, and then in their line of work, I'm pretty sure they're trained to profile people. And with examples like yours where they profiled you, they looked through your shit, they found shit, and then you had like a suspended license, like yeah, like no, some shit like that. Like you are proving the case why they act the way they act. And then he was just kind of going off like, I don't deserve it or whatever. And I'm like, yo, you pissed me the fuck off because you really were fucking up. You did do something wrong. You did have shit in your car. You did have a fucking suspended license. They could tow your fucking car. They could take you in or whatever the fuck for the weed. They're not. They're letting you sit and you're on your fucking phone. So I was like, that's what fucking gets me mad. Like, you don't understand that what you're doing is proving what their method and training is right, and then you're complaining about it as if they had unjustly did this or as if it's illegal for them. Like, I've sped and got a ticket. I've not had my seatbelt and got a ticket. It's just like, yo, but my bad. But I'm not gonna be like, I sped and I got a ticket. How dare the fucking cops? That's so crazy to me. So literally, that's the last fight we had. We didn't talk after that. Like, we were done. But why did I bring that up? Oh, I told him, look, this is not how you win. Complaining about them, saying shit about them is not how you win. How you win is understanding that, yes, you are going to be profiled. They're going to look at you and see all your tattoos and look at your car and think however many different ways that are bad. The way you win is understanding that they're going to think like that and then arming yourself, not with a gun, but with fucking knowledge. When they get to your car, you have your papers. When they search your car, you don't have fucking weed. That is how you win. We can all go on and off in a tangent about how bad and how unfair the world is. I definitely have seen, felt, been a victim of, been counted out for, whatever double standards or unfairness that a system, society, companies, whatever have. But understanding that while I cannot change their system, I can change how I maneuver. And when I change the way that I maneuver around these situations, granted, it's fucked up. Granted, it shouldn't even be like that in the first place, but it is like that. Knowing that when you change how you are, when you don't become something that proves them right, when they act the way or they go along these systems or go along these carry-outs of what they believe in you, when you prove them wrong is when you win, and when they can't touch you, when they can't do anything to you. And it's just something, I don't know if it's pride. It is pride. It's that pride in knowing, like, damn it, they're right, I'm wrong. That's a motherfucker. But I really wish him understanding of other sides. I wish everybody that, because it's a tough concept to get. It's an easy concept to get. It's a tough concept to embrace. Knowing it's the walking in somebody else's shoes. But do it. Don't do it so that you think like, oh, I'm walking in their shoes, they win. No, walk in their shoes so that you can win. Because now you'll know why they do the things they do. Now you know their position. You can better position yourself. All right. So there's that talk. I talked to Pusha T, by the way. Pusha T came into the station and we were interviewing him. And then I had like a little side convo with him that I really, really enjoyed. And I want to show you because we were talking about music. But I hadn't talked to Pusha since, I remember I talked to him Rock the Bells before My Name Is My Name dropped. So I hadn't talked to him after that album dropped. And I love that album. I got to talk to him about it. And we also talked about like West Coast music and how he felt when he first started listening, or like when like hyphy was popping. I'll let him explain.
I used to come out here to the Bay Area, and I remember being a kid, and as a kid I'd be watching Yo MTV Raps or whatever it is I'm watching, and Bay Area or West Coast, you know, Northern California artists in particular, I may turn from, you know what I'm saying, as a kid. Mm-hmm. So I just be like, man, I ain't on that, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Virginia. I'm like, you know what I'm saying, like New York had infiltrated my whole state. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Wu-Tang, I'm seeing Wu-Tang up the street, you know, big, and I'm like, you know,
it was right there.
It's a thing. So fast forward, I come into the game and I go to the Bay. And I never realized how much I love the hyphy movement. I didn't know. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This same thing that I turned from.
It's something I can really vibe with.
Listen, but you got to get in it.
Right.
You got to come outside. You got to be. You can love anything that you're in the mix of and you see people being passionate about.
Word.
That sort of stuck with me, man, because I just remember.
Was hyphy, you think, the first West Coast type trend or sound that you started liking for yourself?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily at all. I mean, I was always on West Coast, West Coast music. I probably got a beating behind NWA as a child.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. It's just I can just go back to a time where I know that I was very stubborn and set in my ways from afar. Like, just a kid, like, this ain't my thing. And then fast forward, I come out there, and, man, I'm making the theater's face. I'm like, I learned it all. I'm like, oh, this is hot. Like, you just get into the culture of it.
Now, I do want to mention about, you did say, like, the West Coast and how it's impactful on you. I know so many people out here of Mexican descent love Pusha T. Pusha, you mentioned Chapo in one of your early records that you dropped earlier. Yeah. When I used to see you with the soccer jerseys, like, I saw you in them before I saw anybody in them. Right. And then my ex-boyfriend was like, he has like drug dealers' names in the back of him.
Right.
You kind of paying homage to that. I know it's related to the streets and everything, but you paying homage to that really had us embrace you and like, yo, push it down for the cause out here.
Let me tell you. Okay, that's how my sneaker started.
Really?
Yeah, because what happened was Adidas. I'm super particular about sneakers. Right. I feel like you got to be a certain individual to have a sneaker, like And one thing I wasn't down with was just putting my name on a sneaker and being like,
this is my sneaker.
This is my joint. Mm-hmm. It's corny. So what happened was I was doing a lot of business with Adidas, doing shows and so on and so forth. And they were like, man, we should do a sneaker. And I was like, no. I was like, what I want to do is custom soccer jerseys. And they were like, custom soccer jerseys? I was like, yeah. So they like, I went there, like picked out all these soccer jerseys. I have a closet full of soccer jerseys. I went and customized them. I went to all the South American, just every type of.
The league, every team.
Everything. And I put the cartel names on the back of them. And
that's dope, literally.
So it's, either cartel names or an actual
bosses,
boss's name or whatever the case may be, in regards to their love for soccer. Right. Anyway, and just certain things I noticed about their culture. Mm-hmm. So Adidas was like, no, we can't have anything to do with that. And I understood that. So they were like, listen, man, we really want you to do this shoe. And they came and met me at All-Star Weekend. It was All-Star Weekend. I think it was in New Orleans. So I'm like walking and I go to this meeting. And when I go to this meeting, it's like a round table of people from Germany. I'm like all tired. I'm like, what? And they were like, people from Germany, designers. They got shoe silhouettes. And they were like, listen, just pick. And they were like, whatever you want to do, we're just going to do it. And I was like, listen, man, this shoe has to be synonymous, like, with me and my brand. So that's why, the first one was off-white, Italian crack leather, fish scale back, the Pyrex sole on the bottom, gums, packaged in a Ziploc. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Word.
It was about the whole experience.
And I think you have such authenticity with it because not unbeknownst to everybody, it was a lifestyle of yours.
Yeah.
But so many people have caught on to the theme of let's be this.
Right.
In order, I know you had a line in my name is my name. Some of y'all sell records never sold dope.
I sold more. I sold more dope than I sold records.
Some of y'all sell records never sold dope.
Right.
And that's the reality of it.
Right.
For someone who's lived it to see people that haven't and do it, it's kind of like I'm saying, we can't say it's a crime anymore because we have to let everybody be free. But knowing that you did kind of earn those stripes and someone's rapping about it without earning it.
Yeah. I mean,
is that something you just gone past?
Yeah, I have, man. It just is what it is, man. Like I can't be the police. Mm-hmm. I'm not here to be the police for for what's real.
Right.
Like,
but even with this record too, off the album, more famous than rich.
Yeah.
It's even on that too. Like there's so many. It's like, what else are y'all gonna perpetrate this year? Like what's the trend to fake this year?
Yeah.
But it's kind of like an open lane. You say something, you're automatically a hater. You like it, you're automatically like you're a dick rider. So there's always extremes to what we are now. There's no objective
or
opinion.
no, just opinion. Yeah, you know, you just can't have an opinion. And my thing is, you just have to, I sort of pick the issues that I feel like are detrimental. Because, I mean, the times have changed.
Got you.
The times have changed. And I think about, you know, people coming up in the game right now. I look at, like, you know, the youth coming up in the game, and they're so independent. You know, they're doing this without a label.
Schemes,
they got a market, they got followers, they got a whole demographics before you even, you know, before they sign a line.
Exactly.
They out here getting $5, $10, $20, $40,000 a show, right?
Right.
I speak on these things because, like, more famous than rich, because I feel like we have to, at the same time, make sure that when they do step in the more curated business aspect of the business, that they keep it, man. You keep your money. You keep, like, it's a dope time. Like, it's a dope time for money, independence. And, like, you know, usually the youth or something new or new energy is suppressed. And this is a time where it's not. Like, this is a time where it's like you can't suppress it, and it's hot, and it's being recognized. And you got, you know, companies like, you know, companies used to be based off of, like, okay, well, how much did this guy sell? And then you got, you know, companies like Adidas who are just like of the culture, and they're like, wait a minute, this is like hot on the street, like, or online, like, who is this fresh girl who's like, I mean, yeah, she put out an album, like, you know, and they peeping all of that, right, influencing. And so you gotta, like, I put those records out there, you know, just so that people can really understand the bottom line of it. Like, I want kids to understand, like, yo, this is the bottom line. Like, you know, get your money. Don't be out here frauding and faking. Like, it's actually your time.
Kendrick had said something, how we're not taught how to maneuver with money.
Right.
We can even, and we make it so quickly, but they don't teach us money like they teach Charles up in the hills. And it's like, that's why we lose it fast. That's why we're like in bankruptcy. That's why, like, we end up still broke, even though we made millions for somebody else. Is there something to that effect too that you're trying to express to kids? Like, yo, really? Because even like, sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
You're like, yo, Adidas cut me $1 million check and that don't bounce. Like, even staying true to yourself and not make, like, yo, Pusha, where's the club record? And you're like, bro, that doesn't need to bounce. When my checks when they don't bounce, I don't need to make those bouncy records.
Yeah. And that's just another perspective of reality. You know, like, I was really speaking about my friend who came home from the feds, like, and he's, you know, he's been in jail for years, sitting, watching the game, and he like, man, like, you know, and mind you, this is my friend, like, so he knows we go out, he knows how we, you know, we really popping and bottles and, you know, all of the lifestyle of, you know, whatever that he's like, man, you do that, like, why aren't you making this record? And I'm like, man, you know, I'm different, like, it's a different thing for me. You know, he probably has just tunnel vision of, you know, like a lot of people, like, oh, make that record, get
like,
this.
This is the formula.
Yeah,
like, the formula seems so easy.
Right. That was the thing. It's like, man, you gotta talk on and speak on, you know, the different avenues and let people know it's a different, you know, it's different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, dude.
Like, man, I'm extremely happy with, you know, my position and being a part of the culture too. Like, I'm not just like a rapper. I'm like a person. I'm an influencer. I'm part of the culture. Like, they line up, shoes dropping such and such a date. It's 200 outside. I got 2 streetwear stores. The kids are just, you know, fiending to get in and trying to get the new fresh.
And you're able to make the music you want to make. Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's not the most, you know, it doesn't start off like $500,000 a show or whatever the case may be. But, man, this is my lane, and I'm cool with that.
Now, would you consider yourself, because I'm telling you lines, and I'm thinking of more fucking, like, when you said, like, there's this line you have on My Name Is My Name, when you're like, you shouldn't ever question if you deserve to dance with them. The better question is, did you enjoy the dance with them? Like, that line to me blew my mind, because so many, just relationship-wise, girls are always like, yo, like, it didn't work out or whatever. It's like, yo, but at the moment that y'all were together, did it feel good? Were you good?
Right.
And so many times we just focus on the outcome, wasn't it? But not living in the moment. Say that to say that's just one of 1,000 trillion kajillion lines that Pusha T has.
I love that. I love that bar.
I love that bar, bro. That bar made
You
me
shouldn't
cry.
question if you ever stood a chance with him. The better question is, did you enjoy the dance with him?
That line is fire, dude.
Yeah,
I
thank
say
you.
that to say when people give these top 5 places, these top 10 places, where does Pusha see himself in that lyric wise? Because I'm not saying like greatest of all time, and it's such a broad spectrum.
Nah, listen, lyrically, I definitely feel like I'm top 5.
I would definitely agree with you.
To me,
even
that's
what you did with Snitch,
yeah,
like these clever concepts of music.
I love that Snitch record too, just simply because I feel like people don't, you know, you'll hear these grandiose stories of all these like rappers and they in the street and my boys, we made millions, we drove Benzes, we got the da 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 da, and I just found it amazing that nobody had talked about the fact that, you know, when your boy goes to jail and he tells, because people tell.
Yeah.
They do.
And what his reasoning to tell was.
Right. And, you know, whatever the case may be, it's like, man, it was a very real moment for me. And I was like, man, I wasn't even a song. Like, I had, you know, the situation, all my friends went to jail in 09, basically. Everybody I came in a rap game with. And, you know, from 10 to 35 years. So after that happened, Pharrell was calling me while in the mix of it, because we all come up together.
Yeah, you went to high school with him, right?
Yeah. So he was like, man, you know, he was like, what happened? Like, you know, what you hearing, this and that. And I'm just telling him, and I'm telling them the rumors and people saying this and that. And I was like, man, you know, and I got a call the other day from bro saying, man, I'm never gonna speak to him again. And I just knew that meant
what it was.
Yeah, and I'm like, he was like, man, you know, we ain't never gonna talk, but you know, you good, and I just, you know, like we ain't gonna speak after this. And this is like my real
like
friend, so I'm telling him about it, and he hit me back. Pharrell hit me back. I was at South by Southwest. He hit me back and was like, I got it, and he was like, Snitch. And I was like, yeah. I said,
that's what it is.
That's what's about to happen. And he was like, nah, sorry, nigga, I'm trying to come home. The acronym. And I was like, Pharrell, like, this is what I, like, when that happens, I was like, he was like, this is the song, and this is your song, and I'm sending you this. I'm going to send you, let me put the hook on this.
Put the hook on it.
And I'm going to send you this, and now you finish it. You give me them verses. It was so, you know, just classic Pharrell in regards to when something clicks to him. When something clicks, he nails it.
That's the genius of Pharrell.
Like, he nails it, and he nailed it so crazy.
I know we talk about My Name Is My Name. I haven't yet gotten to talk to you about that album, so that's why it's like catch up on it.
No, come on.
But when we look at this new album and you look at the mini movie that's accompanying it, what was the mind state of now that you're looking at stuff, good music, I'm not just an artist of it, I'm the president of it.
Right.
So what's the plan with this album?
I created and got a head start on a lot of music since My Name Is My Name. And what happened was I was basically, there's a certain way I like to hear my music. Like, I like to hear hard, dark music. And I like my albums to be linear, like a seamless,
the vibe,
a mood. And
name me dark artists though. Like, what do you mean dark? Like
the mood of the records, like they're records that you know, when I think of Big, I think of My Downfall or Who Shot You. You know,
nobody till somebody kills you.
Right? Yeah. Nobody till somebody kills you. Exactly. And working with the producers that I work with on Darkest Before Dawn, it's like, you know, these guys are known for chart toppers, all of them. I mean, I'm working with Sean Combs. He got 3 on there. I got Tim, you know, Timbaland, like. You know, these guys are Boy Wonder. But my thing was, when I get with these guys, they all want to be and all want to make like the quintessential, I want the hardest Pusha T record. You know what I'm saying? And they want to do that. And so at the same time, I look at them and like I said, they got like chart toppers or whatever, but they don't understand how ill Tim don't know how ill the Jay-Z B-sides that he did. You know, with Jay-Z just black, and to me, like those were my hits of, you know, you had Big Pimpin', but you also had Snoopy track and things like that. So, you know, Puff had all of the hits, but Pray for My Downfall, that's mine. And I'm like, man, we gotta, okay, you want me to do that? Then I want to do this. And it just so happened that I ended up with like a body, and I didn't want to break that up. You know, I got King Push coming in April, and I could have put some of those records up there, but I think that
it in there.
yeah, but that would have to me broke up my listening. It was gonna break up my listening, and it was to me. I just felt like, man, my fans like to hear me a certain way, and I got it. This is how I'm riding. Like I'm riding to this like. Okay, boom, I'm gonna give you this. Darkest Before Dawn.
Darkest Before Dawn, before King Push. Yo, it's about to
12,
be
18,
can we say
y'all.
Pusha season?
Yes, this is definitely Pusha season. Who putting out harder records than me?
Yo, that was such a great conversation with Pusha T. I'm so glad I had it. As you could tell, I was very excited to talk to him about the album, My Name Is My Name. That's one of the things that I'm so grateful for in the line of work that I do, that I can really talk to artists that I'm a fan of. A lot of the times I get, like, this is super personal, but a lot of the times I get like, oh, you like, you're such a kiss ass when you interview artists. But I've been so lucky to interview artists that I like. Like I don't have to interview artists that I don't like. And that's what's awesome to me. And of course, every time I interview an artist I like, I'm going to praise what the fuck I like about them. Yeah. But I always get that, and it kind of like is a little tick at my side. Not really so much anymore. It used to bother me a lot more because it's like, yo, why wouldn't you be a fan of the artist that you're fucking interviewing? But the fact that I can now choose interviews with artists that I genuinely am a fan of is something that I'm very blessed to do. And I hope to do more in 2016. And I'll take you along with me, too. Okay? All right, so I just bought myself a Christmas present online. That's literally the email of my confirmation of the purchase. There are these little things, and it's called Tile or whatever, and I lose everything. I lose my key card for work, I lose my car keys, I lose my phone, everything. So these little Tile things you could put on your keychain. And like you get an app on your phone, and whenever you lose your keys, it'll make a noise. And then on the other end, if you lose your phone and you just have your car keys, you press it twice, and then the phone pops up. The phone starts making a noise. I bought that for myself. Sometimes you got to. So let's see. Oh, I have a suggestion for you this coming end of the year to do that'll help you out. Kind of a little fresh start. It's something that I tend to do often throughout the year, but you should definitely do around the beginning of the year, is to go through your social media, see who you need to unfollow, because you're going into a new year. Of course, you need good energy. Sometimes we tend to follow people reasons like that are, oh, they were in the room and they told you to follow them or whatever. I suggest don't follow people that don't do anything for you. Personally, even if it's me that you unfollow, if I don't provide to you the stuff you think you need, you shouldn't. And then even, especially with Instagram, because what you see, like visually, can very much affect your day. So if you're following, whatever it is you're following, clean it up. If you think you follow someone that's to this or to that, or shows this much, or doesn't, coincide with the way you think or the way that you want to move, you should definitely consider unfollowing them. There was this study that the people that you follow have an effect on how your day goes, social media wise. So you think it's just this simple app that you go and you use to like have a laugh or whatever, but if people on your timeline are a certain vibe, chances are you will follow that vibe. And that not always is the best thing for you. Maybe you can start following people that you want to be like attitude-wise. The fact that they are what you see when you log on can help you become that. They always say, like, and it's something that clearly is going to transfer over to who you follow on social media, but it's like, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. Or the 5 people that you have around you are most likely the status or the mind state that you will teeter within. Goes to say that also happens on social media. Who you follow is very important, even if you think it's very trivial and not as important. It is. Let's see what else. Oh, I saw this other study that I wanted to share about Christmas present shopping. I know it's next week, but if you're like me and you haven't done it yet, here is some like a cool science study tip for your Christmas shopping. They actually did literally scientists did a study, because they have so much awesome time on their hands. and figured out how to give a perfect present to somebody, then their number one tip is don't shop for that person, which is a little weird. Instead, shop for gifts that represent you. People tend to like gifts that represent the giver more than if it's a gift that you kind of feel is shopped for you. So if I have a very funny friend, I'll appreciate a funny gift from them, or that like is something they like or something they would say or do or give or own. They give me. I enjoy it more because it kind of represents them. The scientists say represents your true self over something that's like, oh, Letty's on the radio. She'll like headphones or whatever. So that's number one. The other tip is don't buy bundle gifts. I know a lot of times like we go and like it's either Bath and Body Works, Victoria's Secret, or any other retail store, whatever you go into, and it's like buy this bundle. It comes with a bag and a lipstick. It comes with like the men's body spray comes with a razor or whatever. Don't buy those gifts. People tend to value those less and think you didn't spend as much time on them as much as if you were to give them one item. People like a lot of personalized stuff too, according to science. Stuff that says people's name on it will make them like it more. Aren't those cool tips? I thought they were really dope. They helped me tremendously with my gift shopping that I'm about to do after I stop freaking online shopping for myself. I'm going to shop for other people, I swear. But those are some gifts for you. Thank you for listening to the podcast. I'm going to try to get this out as soon as possible so you can listen to it. And have a great week. Have a great weekend. Have a great day. Have a great night. Have a great awesomeness and rest of 2015. Okay? Bye.